Hi all. Right, just to catch up on an error at at the end of this, the last part of the video. I mentioned it. I'm just uploading the part just now. I've just put a comment at the beginning of the YouTube video saying that there was an error. I'll let you spot it for yourself. So I wonder if any of you caught it or not. Just sometimes when you watch back these things, you just see it's just something simple, but right, I'll zoom in and show you. Okay, it was up here and we were still in this activation, and yeah, we done the check combat here. There was not a check here, and we rolled the dice to do a check here. Now I said it was 3 against 2, which it is. Now he gets a -1 for being dispersed and in low supply. He only gets a 1 -1, that is right. He will get a +1 for being adjacent to supplied unit. But the one that I missed was he's in a clear hex. So that would have added another -1. No, that's tidier. Right, yeah, that would add another -1. So it would come down to a 1, so the odds were actually 3 to 1. Now, my dice roll, and not only that, we had a -1 for the army group card, and this was in the support card box, infantry infiltration, which would have applied. So there was a -2 going on, and it was an 8 we rolled, was it? No. Hang on, let me check. Because I'm going to keep that dice roll. Yeah, it was indeed an 8 I rolled, which reduced to a 6 because the -2, which is cancel with less than 2 to 1 or defender in town. So we have 3 to 1. So this attack's actually going to go ahead. So glad I caught this before we moved on. Other cards might be involved, but yeah, it should be straightforward to fix this. I think, mind you, I've said that before and then realised that something kind of gets messed up. Okay, so combat's going ahead, 3 to 1. It's just that one unit. That's right, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to draw a combat tactic. Yeah, let's do it. So, reinforced battle. So, okay, W card. That's probably not going to help them because well, this is one thing I've got to remember. All these units around here made an attack already on here, and all these other units had made a move, hadn't they? So we had nothing left to actually move. So no, nothing's going to be able to get into that hex to reinforce. What about this hex will grant? Oh, in actual fact, no, again, can't get in this hex because it's surrounded, yeah. Okay, so reinforced battle is not going to help them. However, this is where there's going to be a slight change in what happens, because then we're looking at the support card, and like we said, the infantry infiltration still does apply because well, it gives them flank. Attacking away, defender is in a non-town or city hex, defender is considered flanked, and regardless of the number of hexes from which defender has been attacked. Furthermore, attack is not considered a 1 hex attack. And yeah, so that will apply. So we will play that, and again though, there's not any of the reserves that could get into any hexes there. We've looked at that over and over. They can't trace reserve supply, so we can't bring any reserves in. So what do we have? We have, what was I said, the other reserve reinforced battle. No, we definitely can't do it, can we? So it's going to bring another chip pool to them, though. So they've got. Well, actually, now we're not looking situationally, are we? So it might be different. It's 3 against 2, isn't it? Yeah, because there's no situational. So it's 3 against 2, so it's only 1-1 when it comes down to it here. Chip pool wise, they have 1 for the unit, so just 1 unit, but they've got 1, 2, 3 combat tactics because they get the artillery as well from the army group card. So that's 4 chip pools. Now I need to remind myself about not so much war supply but dispersed. Dispersed with no zone of control, may not move, attack or advance, may not build an IP, units stacked with it may retreat, only 1 hex. If all defending units start dispersed, the attacker may disregard 1 hit. 1 attacker hit, the defender may not use combat tactics. So it only lets them soak up a hit to themselves. However, we can only retreat 1 hex, so we've got to remember that one too. Okay, so 1-1 odds, 4 chip pools. Yeah, let's do it. Oh well, that was a bit of a nothing. This is 6-1 on the front. This was 8-1 on the front or something. Large attack didn't apply. It's got air power in the back of that, and that was air power. So, yeah, nothing doing at all. So. Maybe not. Well, I suppose I wouldn't have wanted any more to happen to us, so I suppose I should be relieved. Okay, so I suppose we burnt through another card there. Now, the other thing that needs to be adjusted, of course, is we played this from the support card. Sorry, we played this from the support card box and repaired that unit. So that wouldn't have happened. So he'll need to go back to his reduced side. Let me get rid of these cards. So I'll just show you that bit. Yeah, so it was this guy down here, wasn't it? Yeah, so we had repaired him, but we wouldn't have been able to do that. The card got used for the combat tactics, so he goes back to his reduced side. And then hopefully that was a mistake. And we can move on. So, right, it's going to be an allied impulse. Now, I need to go away and seriously consider what I'm going to do, because we've got this big issue here. Can we get something into way, or can we protect it in any way? Or are we going to have to keep our fingers crossed that the first SS don't activate next German impulse? And just at a glance, I think I'm going to need that lucky part, because I don't think I can get anything into way. But I've not had a good look at it yet. But I will go and do that and not show you all that grinding away on the camera. Yeah, the cogs turning. Okay, I'll take a pause for now, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, just before moving on, a couple of things to say. What do you know? It's always something, eh? Got a couple of comments. One back from Martin regarding Movement Method 7 and what John had said recently, John Butterfield had said recently regarding that. And maybe I've been a bit harsh in saying it was a contradiction, whereas I think what it is he's within the enemy action Kharkov rules, a unit would, with Movement Method 7, consider its movement complete, but that he's going to change the word into what it was he said, so that the unit could then still build an IP. And I think that's what he's also said that he'd like to add to enemy action Ardennes. So I think when he's said that you wouldn't be able to build an IP, that's because the rules at the moment actually state that. But what he's wanting to do is streamline it a bit along with Kharkov, whereas you can basically say a unit's movement is considered complete, but still build an IP, and I'm assuming still bounce it back to the reserves. So, but I'm just going to play it as now, and I'm going to tilt the unit when if it's adjacent, its movement is considered complete, and not build an IP, because I believe that's what the rules are here at the minute. If he was to bring out an official errata or something to say something within the rules, then but we'll just go with that. And the other one was I was talking about movement method 9, moving to relieve a detachment, and I was saying that an allied unit is it says move active infantry units each to a hex with a German detachment marker to which an allied unit is proximate. And I kept on saying, well, how can, this unit here is proximate to this detachment, 1, 2, 3, but then I'm thinking, well, it's not really, because it has to stop here, doesn't it? Because it's like, because adjacent to the detachment. And I was thinking, well, it must just mean that you've got the movement to actually move into the hex, even though you're not allowed to. But that's not the case. And John Brown's pointed it out to me that if you look in German activation terminology 9.3 under proximate, it gives you two descriptions: proximate to a hex and proximate to an enemy unit, roadblock or detachment. And it says there, a unit is proximate to any of these enemy counters if it is adjacent to the counter or has sufficient movement points to move to and enter a hex adjacent to the counter. So when it talks about that movement method 9, it means, is there a unit proximate to one of these hexes round the detachment, adjacent to the detachment, basically. So there it is, it's clearly written in the rules, and Grant's going off on one trying to say that scratch his head and wonder what's going on. But right, thanks for that, John and Martin, for your comments. Okay, so yes, Allied Impulse. So I did have a little bit of look about, and you know how I was saying I didn't think I had a possibility of getting a unit into Hue or closing it off at least. Well, I have found something, and yeah, and it's worthwhile doing as well. Although again, because I've got this army group card, I started thinking about that again, but I've actually had quite a well, I'm going to say a clever sort of idea, but it's maybe something you guys would consider all the time, possibly when you've got an army card in your hand. It's not something that sprung to my mind. I've clearly not, although I've played this game a bit and I'm trying to follow the rules to the T, I'm not quite sure about my strategies, to be honest, my thinking. Anyway, well, I'll go and show you what we're all talking about. Yeah, well, there's the picture of the area that we're wanting to look at, and maybe giving some clues away as to what I'm talking about. But looking about, I was scratching my head wondering, can I get something into here? This unit here is breaking zone of control, so 1, 2, 3. And because all these units are adjacent to German units, none of them can start strategically moving. So I can't get any extra movement out of them. And yes, I've got the division card. Well, I've got a core card as well, but I've got the division card to deploy the 5th Corps units, but they needed to be within 3 of, I think this is the closest unit I've got. And I think initially my thoughts were 1, 2, 3, deploying them in here, but that's before this German unit moved along here. And that would have been 3 away at the time if I'd done it then. but I didn't do it then. I'm stupid. Well, I suppose I had other thoughts. I didn't think there was a danger, but I should have realised that eventually, you know, and even moving that unit up there when I could have had that, and even though it's just a one-step bracketed unit, it would be in the city, you know. And again, we did see how that happened in Liège. So one-step bracketed units in cities are not the best idea, maybe. However, we don't want to just let them walk into the city and take the 5 victory points. Anyway, so what are we getting at here, Grant? Well, I did find a solution, and that's by activating the British Corps, and you'll see that this unit back here is not adjacent, and he can extend his move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He only just makes it, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the city. And because there's no restrictions broken there, if this unit had been adjacent, then we wouldn't have been able to move there, but it's not. So I've got the perfect sort of movement to get there. I'd like to say I planned that, but I'd be lying. I think, yeah, I would be. I would never have thought of, like, when I put this unit here, because I remember, I think did we move on, or did he just sit there? Has he just been sitting there ever since? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, and not only that, activating the British Corps just now, there's quite a few other things we can do. So, but the sort of clever thinking, if you like, and I'm putting that in air quotes, was obviously I'm jumping between, you know, the 21st Army Group card. I suppose you want to use that if you know you're going to make multiple attacks, and I think that's why that last impulse when I activated no, it wasn't the last impulse, it was when I activated the 7 Corps, and I was talking about making 3 attacks, you know, 3 attacks, get a bonus combat tactic for each one of them. It could be a different combat tactic, so but however, I didn't use it then. I mean, the other bonus is you're looking for units that are stacked with other units. Well, if I'm activating the British Corps here, that's the only unit that is stacked with the British units. So, but then it got me thinking. I thought, I've still got that 21st Army Group card in my hand. How about I try, and I'm mainly probably just looking at this division of infantry, putting them into positions that are stacked with other units. Right, I thought I could put one in here. There's 2 units in here. Unfortunately, they're bracketed, but like I say, this is maybe something that use guys that know how to play the game. I'll maybe consider, you know, stacking up the British units with other units, so that then, okay, I'll not be able to do it next impulse, because again, there's got to be a space in between impulses when you, but then, if I get 1, 2, maybe 3 units stacked with other units, and then activate the 21st Army Group card to activate the British Corps, then I'm going to activate all the units that are stacked with it. So, I mean, it probably is something I should have considered in the past, because it's, you know, it says it on the card what it does, you know, units stacked with it become active. So it's not rocket science to know that it's quite a good idea to, like, stack your units up. So I thought maybe take advantage of this impulse. Obviously this needs to be done, so get that guy up and away. I mean, he has only 2 strength 2, but he's at least 2 steps, and he's armoured. He is armoured, isn't he? He's just armoured though. But anyway, get him up into the city, and well, at least that's something. And possibly have an attack here. These guys are out of supply, so there's a 5 strength, that's a Fuhrer Brigade in there, and there's 2 one-step units, totaling up to 5 strength in there. But the fact they're out of supply, we get to ignore a hit, we get an extra combat tactic, I think. So, but what I might do is just have an attack on one of them, probably the Fuhrer Brigade, I think. rather than try and go for them both. But maybe that next impulse, I've got this guy stacked with, on saying that I would probably be moving him in, wouldn't I? Yeah, that's the thing, I can't. Well, maybe it would be better going for these units than the fact that this guy's already stacked. Yeah, that would maybe make more sense. And I could bring a unit. Yeah, I could bring a unit into here to attack that as well, and it'll be stacked with these 2 units for the next time. I mean, and then we could potentially maybe have a go at that guy with the next impulse, you know. Anyway, okay, that's my thought. So yes, I'm going to activate the British Corps, and right, no messing about, because he is the only guy that I can see that can reach way. So with strategic movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Staying on the road, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the best we can do there. So now I've just got to decide how it is I'm going to do the rest of this, I think. Okay, let me have a think. Okay, here's my thing. The only slight problem I'm having here is these 2 units here can't get into this hex to join the battle here. Yeah, because it's 4 movement for them to go into there. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, going down the road is no good either. 1, 2, 3. They could come into here, but that's not really much use either, is it? However, I think we can still get something like 4-1 odds, which ain't bad. We're going to get enough chip pools. And this was the other thought was I do have a reinforced battle that I'd be willing to use, a 5 core card. So maybe I should just look at that as well. Okay, I'm going to take it a wee bit slower and just not worry about this guy, and hopefully with the plan that I've got, when I play the 21st Army Group card, then we can maybe have a go at that. So, right, here's my thinking. These 3 guys here, they all feel, one of them's bracketed. There's a bracketed unit there, and there's a bracketed unit at the bottom of there. Again, I just don't repair my units, do I? So this is what, but you don't feel like you've got the time to sort of take a turn out and repair. Well, I can't when I leave myself positions like this where I've got to do that. So right, hang on. Right, okay, come on, Grant, get on that. Right, so this guy is going to go 1, 2 into here. I'm going to use the bracketed guy to go. Oops, right, he is flipped. To go 1 into here, and these infantry units are going to go 1, 2 into here, both of them. And yeah, I'm going to move this bracket unit back into Dinant. Again, all these, just thinking about if I stack with these other units. I mean, the partial downside, it does mean that all the cores that you activate, you know, this would activate 8 core and 18 core. So they'd be out for an impulse, but I know we're normally fine. Well, yeah, sometimes you do want to activate the same core again, but I think you can live with that generally. So I think the last one, because I can't really do any with these guys, unfortunately. I think the last one is this guy, and I think I'm going to bring him in here. Because if we take this guy out, if we happen to get this guy we're going to go for, then it might free up some of them. I know I'm going to have an attack on that and that next impulse on top. But it might free up some of them maybe to come down into here, possibly. Well, if they had the movement. That could be the problem there. Because that hex is now fully stacked, isn't it? Is that wise then, Grant? I think that's too much for me to try and think about, so I'm going to put him in there with the purpose of the army group card. If I do what I'm talking about, it's going to activate the A2 units underneath as well. So we'll just, I think, leave it at that and see what happens. Now, yeah, they're full. Yeah, something feels wrong about just leaving these units here and not doing anything with them, but I think if I'm going for that long-term plan, it's not that daft to. I mean, I initially did think I could split my attack and attack them both, but they're both 5 strength, and I know it's a big core we've got, but I think this makes more sense, just leaving that guy now. He's not going anywhere, you know, so. Okay, I'll leave my movement at that. So, I'm going to attack here. Oh, that's the one with IP as well, isn't it? Yeah, would be. So, he's out of fuel though, so I do get to disregard 1 hat. And I do get 1 extra chip pool. I think he's got combined arms, and I think one's an armoured unit, one's an infantry, isn't it? Yeah. Elite as well. Well, some of you are probably telling me just wait till next turn till they're isolated, but I also feel like, I know I've not got that many more cards left, but the longer I sit there, I think the harder it's going to be for me to try and pull a victory off, really. But I mean, because if I can clear up the 2 units, I could consider going up here to help, which could be, I'm not sure. Or I could just push through the middle maybe and try and snatch some victory points back, because there's not an awful lot through the middle. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go for this, right? Okay, so we're gonna declare an attack just on this hex. That would bring elites in if I reinforce with that, wouldn't it? Right, let's see what I've got. I think I've got 4 to 1, and I think I would get 7 chip pools. So put that guy on top. So that's 11. And bear in mind that guy underneath is not involved. He's a green unit though, so that's maybe just as well. 11, so that's 18. And then the 3 is 21. So 21 against 5, so that would give me the 4 to 1 odds. If I did reinforce, probably with this stack, doesn't make much odds actually. No, he's attacking anyway. I'm thinking that would give us flank, but we're going to get flank anyway. That would add another 5 strength and elites. So that would bump it up to right, I've lost my numbers again. 11, 18, 21 to 5. Yeah, 41, 21 to 5 or 26 to 5. So yeah, it would bump up to 5 to 1. So we're sitting with 4 to 1. If we didn't play any cards, we would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. 1 for the 3-step unit is 6, and 1 because they're out of supply. So I could have don't play the card, I get 41 odds and the large attack, 7 chip pools. If I do, I get 5 to 1 odds, 8 chip pools, and I have elites in the battle. I actually think I'm going to play the card. One of the reasons is it's a supplementary 5th core card, and we know we've got the primary 5th core card because it's the core artillery that's been shuffled in. So yeah, I'm going to go for it. So that's another 5 strength of infantry. So 26 to 5, 5 to 1. That does mean we've got elites and... Oh, no, it's not just 8 chip pools, is it? It's going to be 10 chip pools because we get 2 more for the 2 units, obviously. Oh! Right, get your numbers right, Grant. It's going to be 11. It's going to be 2 more for the 2 units, 1 for elite, that's 3, and 1 for the reinforced battle, that's 4 on top of the 7 we had. Wow, that's quite an increase. But that scares me because I'm going to draw a minimum of 2 Amata, and then I'm going to be looking and thinking, how many more do I need to draw? The good thing is, a retreat out them is a step loss. In fact, could it be retreat, and 2 step losses? I think so. Well, in fact, his only retreat is into there, and because that unit's unsupplied, it's a step loss, and then his retreat from there is either there or there, which is another step loss. So all we would need, well, he's got an IP as well, Grant. So you'd need D3 to eliminate both units. That's not bad. That's pretty good odds. D3, 5 to 1, 11 chip pools. Like I said, the tough bit's going to be deciding how many chips to draw. And right, and he's out of supply. Alright, hang on, I've counted I did count the chip pool I was getting extra from the out of supply, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Well, we've got 7 units now. 1 for elites, 8. 1 for the 3 steps, 9. 1 for the reinforced battle, 10. 1 for the out of supplies, 11, yeah. Like I say, we get to ignore an A hat as well. Right, and he can't draw any cards. Okay. Right, no messing about, just get on with it, Grant. Okay, so minimum of 2 and a maximum of 11, so I'll get the 2. Oh well, nothing doing to start with, they're all here. Only attacker armour and attacker artillery, so nothing, none of them apply. So here we are, I've got nothing, so I've got nothing to like make my mind think, well, maybe I don't need to draw all 11. I think I've got to, haven't I? Yeah. I mean, the fact that we get to ignore 1 hat makes it too tempting. If I was sitting at D2 right now, I would maybe just consider going to 7, but... Right, 9 more chats, come on. I just wanted to stop there. That's a great start, like a D2. I mean, I know it's an A1, but remember we were reducing a hit. This was the second chit that I drew though, and I was like, oh no, you're having a laugh, he's got an IP. However, the priority is dispersed and supplied, so we're back on track. Okay, there we go. Only the 2 chits that we started with didn't apply, yeah. That's typical, eh? Yeah, very good, I think. He got a couple of attacker elites there. I thought he got 2. Oh no, sorry, it's defender elite I'm talking about. He got a couple of defender elites. We got attacker elite at 41. This was 6 to 1, given an A-1, but 4 to 1 will do. I think we've got more than enough. I'm just hoping we're not taking any hits. I think there's possibly going to be 1. I'll count them up. We're just getting away with it. It's D7 again. I think we're just getting away with it. We've got 1, 2, 3 A hits, but 2 A- hits, taking us down to 1, and then we get to ignore 1 because out of supply. That's perfect. well, I say it's perfect. It's overkill. Would we have needed that reinforced battle? I don't know. Well, we've done it, eh? So that's yeah. Both the units are going to be eliminated. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because one hit. Yeah, we don't need to count that. Grant. Come on. So 2 more 47 core units are gone. So they're kind of reduced to threads now. I mean, we've still not seen their 9th Panzer Division come out yet, but they've been sitting there for a while now, haven't they? Well, that's good. I was wanting to, because I think by eliminating them, it's going to let some of the units free. If not, to maybe come down here, like I said, we've got this unit. This is a 4 strength elite unit in here with an IP, and he's only in low supply, so we need to get a bit more round about him, I think. Right, I'll clear the chits out of the way, and we'll see about advance after combat. It's possible, I think. I just had a nice thought there. It's not going to work though, but advancing this armoured unit into here, and then second advance them into here, and then I'll be able to grab the 2 units as well on the attack here. But because there's no path of retreat, we'd be going from this zone of control to that zone of control. So nah, I'm not going to get a 2 hex advance at all. Okay. Oh yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh no, I can't do that. I'm forgetting, I was thinking that unit was active, but he's not. So if I move away from that guy, he then won't be able to get activated. I'm not really that sure. You know what, I'm going to just advance all of these in, I think. And then some of them could attack here. Something could go in here and maybe attack here, possibly, that next turn. Yeah, I'll just leave that with that guy, and then at least that activates some with that forward thinking. Okay, so these guys would build an IP, wouldn't they? Because they didn't move. Not that it's probably that relevant, but well, I can do it, so I might as well. And that's going to be that. Right, okay, I'll tidy the chits up, and I'll have a wee cut there. Well, probably just coming back with German Impulse right away. I've still got to draw up our hand. Well, actually, you know what, I'll do that. We're drawing 3 cards. We've got 5 left because we shuffled that core artillery back in. So we'll draw 3. So kind of wouldn't mind seeing the core artillery, I suppose. On saying that, I just used up the supplemental card of that. So if I do want to activate the 5th core, well, there it is. It was the top card. Oh, I've got the 3rd army card. We've not seen that yet, have we? Wow, this has been a day. That's been all army cards we've got, and we've got no command finish, which gives an air power event or combat tactic. Probably combat tactic. I don't think there'll be anybody we need it to supply. That 3rd army card could be quite good though as well for the 3rd corps or the 12th corps. Okay, so that's me back up to 7. So I've got the core artillery. Still 2 cards left in my draw pile. Right, I'll cut this just now, guys, and back with now German Impulse quite shortly, hopefully. Cheers. Hi all. Right, let's get started again. Next German Impulse. We're moving on a bit. There's a division card. Oh, what do you know? There's no the 24th on it. That's typical. I think we've seen quite a few cards today with the 24th, but they've not came into the support card or command card box. They've just been used for other things, combat tactics and the like, yeah. So that one definitely does not apply. So this is a primary card that goes into the command card slot. There is no event on this. The fuel issues are fine. So we're going to activate 58 core. We're going to activate this time rather than try to repair. Remember to take that repair point away for that unit. There's only 4 units. Nothing in the reserve units box. We've eliminated 2 of these guys. And we do, however, have assault coordination and support card combat tactics. So. Okay, so like I say, the 4 units, 2 of them in here. That's a reduced unit. This elite 116 Panzer unit that's got an IP, and the other one's this infantry unit with the IP. So just the 4 units, no roadblocks, no movement of the army objective marker. So let's see what they're going to do. Okay, I think unit 3 here can move movement method 2. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 7 away from his army objective there. He can move 1, 2, breaking zone of control, and then 3, 4, 5 into here. His IP is going to drop off, obviously, which is adjacent to Allied VP hex and 1 hex closer to his army objective. Now, yeah, he can't tactically adjust, unfortunately. That's the only hex he can reach, which is adjacent to the VP hex, so I'll put him down below. These other 2 units are already adjacent to Rochfort, obviously, so they're restricted. It's only 3 strength. They're restricted from move. I mean, again, I don't think they're going to be able to tactically get. No, they're not, are they? No. They're both armoured, aren't they? Yeah, so can't even come around to a possible infiltration move across the river. Okay, I'll see if there's anything else. Okay, this guy here is he's only an Allied unit adjacent to, he's only German unit adjacent to, infantry unit adjacent to an Allied unit here, so his movement is considered complete. He's already got an IP anyway, so it's just these last 2 armoured units down here, but I can't see how they're going to move at all, are they? Let's say movement arrows. Well, they need to stay adjacent to this, so, and they can't get in here. They can't get in here, and they certainly can't get further round. So yeah, they're just going to stay where they are. Like I say, if one of them was infantry, I could have maybe had that infiltration move, but that's not the case. So they're going to sit tight. No reserves. Okay, let's just check. This could be quite a quick impulse, couldn't it? Might flag up an attack here, but so selector number. Well, he's not going to attack. No, he's. Sorry, I'm looking elsewhere. Right, let's look here first, Grant. So this selector number 2. So to check here, we have 3, 6, 7. It's coming across the river. So it's 3 to 3. Nothing else added though. So it is just 1-to-1 odds. So assault coordination's not helping. No reserves. So it's 1-to-1 odds. Yeah, modifiers, attackers include elite, defenders not, so there's a -1. It's not an army group card, and the support card is not. Well, actually, here we go. Yeah, this has come up before, isn't it? It is actually applicable because Assault Coronation. I find this one harsh, whether I've said that before or not, but because it reduces the hits the Germans will take. Just something feels a bit wrong about that, doesn't it? Yeah, I just wanted to look that one up again because I was pretty sure it was John Butterfield himself that had answered the question back a few years ago. But he basically says that this, whatever the question is, the support card combat tactic is applicable. The tactic on the support card is applied because it does provide the benefit even if no inactive German units are adjacent to the target. Note that the combat tactic description for German assault coordination in the Allied solo game states that the German hits are reduced by 1. So that's John himself confirming that one. That's why when I'd seen that, I thought that something feels a bit wrong about it. You would, probably nicer to have the card. I was saying that it's for the 2nd Panzer Division, the Panzerwehr Division, who have been kind of slaughtered recently, so maybe it is as well being out here. That's assuming the combat's going to go ahead, of course. So that is going to give a -1 as well. So what did I say we were? We were just 1-1 odds, weren't we? 3-6-7, isn't it? Half. So yeah, 3-3, 1-1 odds. Got elites. Support card shows applicable combat tactics. So 1-1 odds with a -2 then. Let's see what we got. It's only from 1 hex, so yeah, I don't think that's happening, is it? I think that's an unlikely one to get, isn't it, when you're only attacking from 1 hex. Anyway, 9 takes it down to 7, cancel of less than 3-1, so that seemed like not the best option to attack there. And the other unit up there is fighting a losing battle, really. It's 2 against too many. So yeah, no check required there. Now, something's going to bounce back to reserves, though, isn't it? I believe. In the stack here. So yeah, it goes in descending order, doesn't move, he's adjacent to an allied unit, he can trace reserve supply. Yeah, no problem. So this unit's going to bounce back to reserve because he's still leaving 2. Oops, right, that's on his flip side. But he's still leaving 3 steps in the hex, so he'll bounce back to the reserves. And also, this guy didn't do anything, so he'll build an IP. There's nothing to stop that unit bounce back to reserves. The movement restrictions, is it? You know, seems a little bit strange that while moving, although that's well, no, it's quite similar, isn't it? Do not move a unit starting adjacent to a VP hex occupied by allied units with strength 5 or less, unless moving to another hex adjacent to the same VP hex. That's 9.21a. But when we get to removing German units to the reserve units box, there's no mention of that applying. Yeah. No, I don't see it in the book, so it must be allowed. Okay, that's it. Well, they do have that other card in the support card box now though, so we're going to see what it's going to do. Okay, so it's wanting to activate 2nd Panzer and Wehr. I'm just going to check the eliminated units because we've got a lot of the 47th. Right, the 3 wire units are gone. And 2 of the 2nd Panzer units are gone as well. So there's 1 2nd Panzer unit left somewhere. It's the guy that's got the IP, isn't it? Yeah, that's in low supply. I think. This guy here. Just off camera. Yeah, so he is full strength. He's got an IP. But he's in low supply. I guess there's not an awful lot's going to happen here, but I think if you go right through and nothing happens with a card, it's just tough. Right, well, I suppose we're activating that. It can't move via movement method 1. And then it can't move at all because it's surrounded. So yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen. It wants to try and get back into supply, but move the unit toward the closest edge from what supply may be traced. No, can't. Right, so I guess that card is going to do nothing. So maybe it would have been good for a combat assault coordination after all. Okay, well that was quite a painless impulse considering some of the ones that we've had recently. Okay, I think I'll have another wee cut here, and I might actually be able to put that together for a small episode and upload it, because I might need to take a bit of a break just now. Although I was thinking my next impulse might be bringing the 5th Armoured unit, so you know what, I better have a little bit of a look about just in case there's something else that maybe catches my eye. But right, I'll take a cut for now and I'll be back when I add impulse shortly, guys. Okay, cheers.